Hey guys, this is Minnesota Bear 82 here. I had a comment on my one of my YouTube videos about so what changed from T-Mac 82, and I'll tell you what changed in our recent update on 7 Days to Die. So here's the patch notes on Alpha 17.2 b27, and this is straight from the 7 Days to Die Fun Pimps forums. So what they changed, or what's new, blood moon frequency. This option allows the player to set a minimum amount of days for when the blood moon hordes appear. In the menu, the player can disable them, have them daily every 3 days, default weekly, every 2 weeks, and once every 30 days. Now for me, having a blood moon every 30 days would be insane because I kind of want action now. Blood moon range. Here, the player can change how many days can the actual blood moon day randomly deviate from the frequency setting. Setting this to 0 makes blood moons happen exactly each nth day as specified in the blood moon frequency. Meaning you can have a blood moon. Uh, let's say you have a blood moon at 7, uh, and you set it to 1. It could be um, anytime like +1 or -1 day. It's like I had one set for every 3 days for blood moon. It didn't happen till like day 6, so like 3 days after. Land claim count. We've added a property to the server config.xml that allows server owners to change the maximum amount land claims per player. So this is pretty good. Um, I've noticed that when I play, if I had a land claim block and say I want it in my like first initial POY, I set that down. But then if I go travel, let's say to a town, okay, and I want to build there, I set another one. Well, my old one would break, okay, so it's inactive, and the new one is active, okay. So but when you go back in there, zombie spawns to the first POI. The zombies will respawn. Sleepers will respawn. So frustrating. So I'm glad they fixed that. Hopefully that it's both single and multiplayer, because that would be kind of cool. XP multiplier. Players can increase or decrease the overall experience gained to suit the XP speed for the length of game they desire. Now, those of us who've been playing this game since the beginning, I actually started playing this in Alpha 16 after I watched KJ48, Game Edge, and my good buddy Games for Kicks. Um, in Alpha 16, they had a fun time. They were building big bases. Well, this is what's going to happen. Okay, so you got these perks and point systems uh, right now. So what it does is that if you set your XP low, you're going to progress slower than what you have been in Alpha 16 or Alpha 15. If you increase your XP, like say 300%, okay, you're going to level up faster. You're going to, for instance, if you do block damage at 300%, you're going to go through your boulders, your trees, um, digging blocks. Any blocks will be more easier for you. You'll get less resources, but it'll be easier, and you'll increase your leveling. Zombie kills, same thing. You kill many zombies, you're going to get more experience. So this will be a faster XP. So you could be like, at the end of day 1, you could have, depending on how good you play, anywhere between 2 to 3 levels, or as much as 10, depending on how high your zombie settings and um, block damage. So here we go. Adjustable block damages. This is what I was getting to. Players can decrease or increase their damage dealt to blocks. AI. Well, yes. Like I said, you can go anywhere between 25% all the way up to 300% on your block damage. The default setting is at 100%, which is pretty normal. Normal stone boulder, I think you can get through with about 4 hits. Pretty close to it anyway. And with the 300%, you're about 3 hits. That's not much, but AI, damage dealt to blocks by normal AI. Blood Moon AI, the damage dealt to blocks exclusively by AI during Blood Moon Horde time. Now, you could do the Blood Moon AI from 25% up to 100 or 300%. Basically, meaning you could slow down your Blood Moon Horde if you don't want them to break your blocks as fast. You set them down to like 25, or 25 will deal less damage. 100% would deal normal damage. Anything higher than that, like 150%, they're going to get through a lot faster. So 50, 75%. Now, if you want to go true survival, you want to probably go with basic, unless you're going to go with permadeath. Then you want to jack that high up, and it's like, okay, zombies come in, you know, I want to get killed, so yeah, you're going to want that so high. But for us builders who want to protect what we own, we want to stay between 100 or less. So we spend less time repairing things. Okay. Server owners. I am not a server owner, but I will attempt to read this technology that actually, I will not read it. I'll let you guys read it. It's there on the screen. Added server config property user data folder to specify where all generated data on the server is stored, including generate RWG worlds. Added new properties: XP multiplier, block damage player, block damage AI, block damage AI BM. Removed old properties: block durability modifier, zombies run. Change terminal window enable default is set to true. Please be sure you are using these properties in your server config XML. Okay, so this is basically formulas if you are your own server and like a mod or two. Use these formulas to change the XML files. Okay. So, added. Option to disable texture streaming. Sleeper check if chunk ready for spawning. Launcher cleanup function for generated RWG worlds. Hits between animals of the same exact class are ignored. Huh. So I'm assuming that means that if you are attacked by a pack of zombie dogs, that you hits between animals of the same exact class are that only count as maybe one hit. Hits between animals of the same exact class are ignored. That I'm not sure how to read that. Hits between animals of the same exact class are ignored. So if you're being attacked by a horde of zombie dogs, does that mean that, well, each dog hit that bites you, you get hit, unless they're just stating that one. I don't know. That's interesting. Log message of for how much XP you got from different sources during your last level. I'm assuming you can find that through your debug menu, the F3 screen. Unless, on the bottom right hand screen um, in the game, where it shows how much, what you're putting in your bag and the XP, that could be that, maybe. AI find destroy POS far to close mode and randomize starting edge check. AI destroy area can randomly trigger when close but has a long path. Higher percentage with lower intelligence. AI destroyer will try far mode if normal unreachable. Okay, so this one. Alright, so if you have like your horde base, if your horde base is like, let's say basically a box, okay, a 7x7, maybe 3 deep walls, alright, and you have, say you have a double door, one entryway, double door, um, either iron reinforced or vault doors, okay, and your walls are reinforced concrete. Okay, so to the zombies that are attacking it, they're gonna attack the vault doors, not the walls. But what this is saying is that if you had that, and if you do like a ramp leading up, and you're like not inside the box but on top to shoot down, and you made a path or um, a maze of some sort for the zombies to path their way up to you, that formula that I just read, AI destroy area will try far mode if normal unreachable. So if you make the box and have a path, okay, um, they're going to go for the path first if they can't get to you. Okay, if they think that's it. So if your box is so heavily reinforced and your maze is not, but it's um, not as strong, they'll probably take that maze, or should say the ramp maze, and then um, attack you from there. Um, AI destroy air states, so seek time and attack time are separate. Land claims now have a radio menu access to either show bounds to help building or remove them if you don't want to destroy them by hand. Okay, so when you put down a land claim box, um, you have a block radius in the multiplayer tab. Um, default is like 41 blocks. Now, when you set that land claim down, that land claim will reach 41 blocks. So that's like what 81 times 2 is 2 8 82 blocks square. Yeah, about 82 blocks. Yes, 82 blocks. So, and that goes from, I believe it goes from bedrock to the sky. So that's a big area. But you can make that smaller if you want. So that it you can change that setting. Like I said, in the multiplayer section from 41 blocks, you can move it down to however small you want. But that is interesting because the Games Kicks last couple of videos he put down a land claim box, and you could see that when he was doing his new build, that this land claim box was huge. You could see the green outline, and that will help builders a lot, like what they said here. So, yeah. So if you're building and you want to see that outline, you can keep it on so you don't go out of that bounds, or you could turn it off, and you know that way you don't have to destroy it. So, logging when player makes levels. Okay, that's good. Clamping to huge XP gains and changed give self XP to allow huge numbers. I'm assuming this would be for those of us that want to uh, basically make our character have more experience. Not more experience by, okay, so when you start out you have like no XP, none whatsoever. So instead of going through all the grinding, the zombie kills, they're going to give themselves all that XP to make their character higher. So like, I don't know, like a level 100 or 150, they're going to give themselves that much XP so that they can do the perks and stuff. They'll get points or whatever, and they can do all their points and stuff without going through the grind. Oh, excuse me. A blood moon warning option. Now this is one that's really good. Game setting is morning or evening. Now for me, I like morning. That way, when that red number shows up, when your day like 1 through 7, and let's say your blood moon horde happens to be on 7. Before this change, it was white, and you could, at nighttime at 2200 hours, the sky would turn red, right? Well, with this fix, when that blood moon night comes, or that day comes, the day number, instead of being white, will turn red, and that gives you an option of morning or evening. So with me, I like morning, so that gives me a little more time to prepare for the horde, or make some repairs or some necessary looting for making bullets or whatever. So this is what I like the most. And the land claim box. Everything else is not so much. So they changed. So that was added. So they changed decreased sleeper despawn delay to 45 and added passive despawn delay of 10 seconds. Meat stew uses only 5 meat, added animal fat to recipe. Now it gives 50 max stamina and 25 health. So every meat recipe that you have always uses 5 meat. But I guess for meat stew it may have been 10, so they dropped it down to 5. Okay, so steak and potato meal not only use 5 meat, but require 2 mushrooms. Now it gives 50 max stamina and 25 health. Okay, so that's a two food recipes. Increased chance for rare medicine at traders. I'm probably thinking like maybe herbal pills or antibiotics. Bartering now changes final price instead of reducing, increasing markup. So you could, when you do the bartering perk, well, when I did last patch, it actually lowered the cost of items at the trader. Now, what this is saying is that instead of bartering now changes final price instead of reducing, increasing markup. So instead of it being, the more you sell, it would lower the cost, right? The more you level up bartering, it'll lower the cost. But with the bartering now, you don't see that change. It strictly does the final price, so you don't see that change. It's like if you sold, say, 100 diamonds, you're gonna see your levels go up, but you'll also see that dollar amount or the Duke amount in the trader go down as you keep selling. Where this one, you don't see that. So that kind of blows, but yeah. Gravel trails in the desert are more visible. That is good to know. That is good to know. Vehicles no longer collide with small rocks. Updated small rock texture. This one, yeah, that one. I'm glad they fixed that. That was just nuts. Having the motorcycle and every time you hit a small rock. Yeah. Upgraded rock texture resolution to 512. Added acid to traders. This is good. If you have your loot, when you do your game, you have your loot percentage. You can have it down. I think the default is 100%, but you can raise it up 300%, and that's part of that. You could find more loot doing that. But I'm glad they got acid traders. Increase the Duke value of raw meat. That's okay, but for most of us who don't hunt or don't want to go out hunting and just like say farming or just collect hands, raw meat is valuable to us. I mean, that is like bacon and eggs or the steak and potato or meat stew. So I don't see why we would want to sell raw meat, but that is definitely interesting. Nerfed barter perk sell rates to half of what they were. So yeah, cut sell rate from 0.2 to 0.15. Reduced amounts of food for sale at traders. So yeah, traders, usually they sell like your drinks, some food items with meat, some canned food, maybe. Um, I know they changed something with the vending machines as well. They were gonna cut away some of the food items and just have the drinks. I think. Um, Increased width of new continue game window panels and game option control. Dropped usage of settings, INI file. Everything is controlled by Unity's preferences systems again. Increased chance to play power attack grunt sounds. So when you do that right click, you know, that power, your player's gonna grunt. Might grunt a lot if you excessively use it. So just be aware. Increased radius of dog and wolf controllers. So I'm assuming with that, um, dog and wolf, their aggro, I call it aggro, is going to be larger. So instead of maybe, I'm just guessing, it's like maybe 8 blocks previous, maybe it's up to 15, 16 blocks. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Increased probability of bones on gore blocks and body bags. This is a good one for those that want to make glue. Glue is made by bones and murky water. So the previous um, bug fix, okay, um, the bones were pretty rare because zombie gore blocks don't give bones anymore. In fact, there's no loot bags, very little. Um, but there's gore blocks on the roads, body bags in like the hospitals. So I'm glad they put the bones in there. Gore blocks and body bags can drop nitrate. Increased probability of coal on burnt blocks. This is pretty good too. So if you need coal, you look for those trees in the burnt biome that have the vines on them. You can get like tons of coal. Maybe 10 for a full grown tree. But if you hit the those burnt logs on the ground in the burnt forest, you can pick up 2 to 5 per block. So right there, if you need coal, boom, there you go. Reduce repair cost of land claim blocks. No, reduced repair cost of claim blocks. I'm gonna assume that's a land claim blocks, even though it takes like 5 stone to make. They used to be like, what was it, like 1,000 forged iron or 1,000 scrap iron or something. So that'll be interesting to check out. Slightly reduce the depth of the topsoil to make finding ore easier. This is pretty good. Um, Depending on where you dig, you can like if you are in the the burnt area and you go to like one of the hills and you start digging like the clay soil, like 2 or 3 blocks, you're gonna find stone. And that's what I was doing. I found stone, and when you hit the stone, you get your iron a little bit. So that's pretty cool. Optimized countersink, cupboard corner, deco pull round, tile broken, metal rail. I think it's graphic optimized. I'm thinking. So that's good too. Reduce static memory usage for map data. Reduces amount of RAM required. More pronounced on bigger maps. Vending machines no longer have prepared food or raw ingredients, only canned food and drink. This is pretty good. Um, Now I would change it if somebody did like starvation, where you'd have to hook up the vending machine to electricity. Same thing with fridges. They You could change it to the vending machine where you can have like raw meat um, and stuff to cool. You know, that would be something to think about for the modders of starvation. But yeah, this is a good one. Increase quality tier of items found in loot. Hopefully this will be. Oh my god. Increase quality tier of items found in loot. Um, Games for Kicks and I both agree that the higher up that you are, for instance, if you're, let's say, a level 1 through 5, you're not going to find very good loot. But if you're like level 45 and 49, even 100, and if you go like through a trash bag and you're only getting brass, you know, why not put glue in there? Why not find some ammo or maybe a couple things in there? That's what I think. That's what that means. Like the higher you are, the better items you should be finding. So if you go through a dungeon, right? And this is what he was talking about. So if you go to a dungeon, level 1, you should be finding poor items. Like a level 1, uh, say a level 1 sniper or marksman rifle. But if you're, say, you're leveling up in like 25, 30, 49, 100, you should be able to find those higher tier items. So 3, 4, 5, 6 items. But you know we've been only finding level 2s, very little chance of finding level 3s. So I'm glad they fixed that. Games for Fix will be happy about that. My buddy renamed Bone Shiv to Bone Knife. Yep. All right. Fixed. Buried supplies show as empty when they're not. Should make same as satchels. Place land claims are printed on the console for everyone to see. I don't know if that's for console players or if that's for PC in a multiplayer server. Okay. Sleeper volume, final room bungalow 6. ERR unknown particle effect, impact bullet on resource wood when shooting air supply crate. Snowberry extract uses its instead of its in description. I think that's just a grammar error. Dismember chance cannot stack correctly between buffs, items, and perks. Large stamina cost for jumping is not mentioned in parkour description. Spawn probability of radiant zombies is not scaling. Sleeper despawn range to a tighter range. When in the prefab world editor, when starting a game, the party carries over. Oh my god, there's so much stuff here. Bicycle doesn't fall over for clients, only the wheels do. Doesn't fall over for clients, only the wheels do. Vehicles placed on a client face north and then rotate to place rotation. Bicycle dismounting causes player movement to lock and lose two built items. Yeah, that's true. Oh, there's so much stuff here. Oh, here's one. Exiting game after placing campfire cancels trader quest. So with that one, if you place a campfire and then leave the game because it may have taken you 30 minutes, and it cancels a trader quest, that's not cool. Um, Worlds without any water source and XML fail to load. Well, in any world, you want water because water is life. You can't go without water. Your body needs water. You can go up to 3 days without drinking water, but you still need water. So I don't know why anybody would want a world without water. I mean, how would you make your beer or uh, your yucca or yucca juice or the red tea, goldenrod tea? Um, so you need the murky water. You need water for everything. So and those that have no water in them, it's like, you know, how would you survive? Um, Now this one got me going. Puny God mode does not make you invulnerable. I figured that out the hard way. I was one of my actually it was survived the waterworks. I was in God mode trying to get um, my death bag, and I had invincible on. Well, if you have it on invincible and you're in a you know a group of zombies and a bear, yeah, you'll get hit. You'll get the bleeding effect, but you don't see the effects. But if you hit that invulnerable off, you see the effects, and yeah, especially if you don't have God mode on, you'll die really fast. Um, duh, duh. So this one's pretty cool. If you have a old save game, Clear Part for Sleeper Quest now also works on 4 old save games. So if you have, uh, let's say, 17.2 B20, and you have a quest to clear, it'll work. So that's good. Um, I'm not gonna go through the known issues. If you played 7 Days to Die, you kind of know what these are. Um, yeah. So that's my reading of the patch notes. Um, if you guys want to find out for yourself, they do have Twitch, Facebook, or Discord. Um, and then the website here is 7daystodie.com. forward slash A17 dash do 2 dash I is dash out forward slash. So there you go, guys. I hope that helps you guys out. Go ahead and get rid of this. And I will see you guys in a few minutes.